Girl, welcome back to the Drama House. Lady Drama speaking. Yes, we did. We played InZOI during our live stream, and I want to share my thoughts with you. Of course, feel free to rewatch the full gameplay. It's on the live tab on the Drama House channel. But I warn you, it is almost 5 hours long because there was a lot to explore and, gladly so. And also, I did spend a long time in InZOI, but I think I'm not the only one, so raise your hand if you're guilty of it as well. So I wanted to make just a quick review, honest review, obviously, and also give you some of my highlights and pointers if you don't want to go through the full, 5 hours thing. But if you do, I really appreciate it. So first of all, I have to say I hadn't played InZOI for a long time. I think the last time I accessed the game was back in June, maybe to get some footage. But that was about it. I did play it when it came out on early access, but then just like many other players, I know I kind of left it there waiting for them to add more content, And so I was really curious to see what would come with this DLC and also the state of the game at the moment, which is basically what I'm gonna comment on. One disclaimer is that, and if you watch the live stream, you'll see this. So I have InZOI on Steam, I accessed and I was warned about an update. And silly me thought that was kind of, the DLC. I thought the DLC was in the update, but it wasn't. So I went ahead and created my ZOIs just to find out when I was moving them into a new world that I didn't have the new world because that was a separate DLC for me to install. So yeah, fail. Don't make the same mistake I made. But yeah, I did spend a long time in Create a ZOI. I did find some improvements, there are more items, and so we had fun with that. We also created 5 characters. That's why we took our sweet time. But I did not see anything new in terms of personality. I saw what I had already discovered with the personality trait and with these kind of aspirations that they have. And I did set these traits for my ZOIs before I moved them into the new world. So because of my issue that I told you about of not installing the DLC right away, I had to move my characters to a different world, hoping that then we would be able to go and visit the new island, which we were able to. So I just moved my ZOIs to a random empty lot to pay the least amount possible. And then from the mobile options that they have, there was one with the plane, which was clearly hinting to, taking a vacation or something. So we went to Kahaya. The premise of our gameplay was that we were hosting a girls' trip, and our girlies were traveling to the island, to explore everything that there was there and have some fun. My grudge with this was that after we opened the menu to travel and we were given the option on where to go, I could not pick anything at the resort part of the island. So I had to pick like an empty lot on the other side of the island, the more residential side of the island. And then if I wanted to spend some nights at the resort, I would have to separately have my ZOIs check in and get an accommodation. And this was probably just me, but I also didn't manage to have them all share like a villa or something because the accommodation was locked to the ZOI that booked that room or that villa. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm sorry. It's just that was my biggest grudge when we were playing during the live stream. So I had to let it out already.
Okay.
My expectations in terms of DLC were like nothing, I think. Also because I really wanted to have a fresh perspective and view on what I would then find with the new world and the gameplay, but also spotting any improvements from the very first time that I played when the early access dropped. And I have to say, after those 5 hours in the game, I was feeling pretty hyped. I did enjoy many parts of our gameplay. There were more things to do compared to the first times I played InZOI. And overall, I did notice that the characters felt way more lively, or actually way more alive than what I remembered from when I first played InZOI. So the world map, as I was saying before, is divided in two parts. You have the mainland with the locals, and in there, I guess that you can have more of a cozy gameplay, taking care of a piece of land, harvesting, gardening, and they can also do like sort of mining and collecting gems, I believe, to then make even jewels. We did not explore that part of the gameplay because I was really fixated on the like high-end luxury resort part of the experience. And I think that's because I don't really think we get that with The Sims 4, for example. You can have a gameplay where you send your Sims on vacation, but this sort of, luxury resort White Lotus experience is not something that you can have naturally with any of the Sims 4 game mechanics or even expansion packs, in my opinion. In this new world, you can definitely walk around. You can definitely meet other Zois. Just beware, they're still gonna be straight. So don't try flirting if they're not, the opposite sex. But okay. And you also have stuff like a water slide, which is another cutscene that I really enjoyed. Although at first I was really dumb because the game, was I really dumb or was the game being counterintuitive? I don't know. This is a question that I find myself having often when I'm playing InZOI though. Basically, I sent my Zoe up the stairs of the water slide, and she was allowed to climb them normally until we got to the very top, and I realized that that was not the correct way to go about it. So I sent her away to do something else in the meantime, and then I randomly found the actual entrance to the slide, and so I had her go through there, and we managed, and I got the little cutscene where you see them going down the slide. I found that very cute. We also got to see the sea turtles. That was very cute. We saw like a big turtle, and sometimes they had the babies and they were on the sand, and your Zoe can go close to them, examine them, or like take a picture. I have to be honest, although I did love the realism, like the detail of the turtles, I was expecting something more out of the interactions with the turtles. I was hoping that you would have more options. I'm not thinking, an animation where they pat the turtle, because if we're keeping it realistic, that would not be realistic at all, although plenty cute. But maybe, I don't know, something else, like maybe try to get them get close to you. I don't know, something. Other animal update with the DLC that I really liked are finally cats. I really liked that when you go to the temple on the island, you see cats roaming around and you can interact with them. You can play, you can pet them. You can even do a meditation with them, which I found really cool. And I love that my girls, they were, dressed. They were giving Selling Sunset, but they were just sitting there meditating with the kitties. It was very, very camp and very cute. At the temple, you can also light incenses and I think write intentions. It's really spiritual, and I did enjoy that part of the gameplay a lot. I mentioned before how I found the entire resort experience a little bit confusing because first I wasn't really finding the totems where you go and book your room. But then after a while, I did find it and I had some of the girls book a room. And so they were able to, spend the night and sleep there and have all the benefits of the accommodation. And it was cool. One of them was staying on a villa on water. Like, yes, I loved it. But the problem is that I had 3 more girlies who were, starting to feel sleepy. And automatically they would have the action to go back home, which was just an empty lot where I didn't put anything. So in theory, had I wanted for them to spend the night at an accommodation, they would have to book a room, and that is pretty expensive at the resort. I do not understand why this happened, even because one of the rooms that I booked had some spare beds. So why couldn't the girls go in? Like, that's the thing. It's not that they couldn't, I don't know, use the bed or something. They couldn't even access the room as if they were total strangers to their friends who were on the trip with them and are also part of the same household. So, like, why? There are other activities like surfing or like bodyboarding and fishing, and I found that cool. I also like that you could spot from time to time like some specific stone and they could go there and mine it. As I said before, I did find the ZOIs way more lively than the first time I played the game. So it's definitely cooler to see them interact, whether it's members of the same household or even seeing your ZOI interact with a stranger, for example. I have to say, I would love to see them sort out their interaction menu. I still struggle a little bit with it because I still don't get the reason why the first set of options that you get upon clicking on a different ZOI, it's still so chaotic and it has options that make no sense with whatever storytelling is happening with the interactions. It just feels very loose compared to the relationship level that your ZOI has with the ZOI they're talking to. Like, how is it possible that I've just met this person and I already have options like asking them what their problem with our relationship is, as if we're confronting a long-term lover, And so I just think that although you can sort out and pick more specific interactions if you want to, the fact that the ones you get upon the first click are so mismatched can be a little chaotic and oblige you to kind of pause the game so you can pick the most appropriate option. Again, that's an example for me of the game being slightly counterintuitive, and I feel the same about the visual commands. If you watch the live stream, you can see that I still struggle a little bit moving the camera around and also like switching between ZOIs. And okay, you can tell me that it's a me problem and I'll accept it because I'm not the best in general with camera movement. So I definitely own it and it can definitely be just a me problem, but I was still struggling switching between camera modes, and also I still don't understand how to normally switch from one character to the other without going to their point of view, because that problem was basically preventing me from doing simple actions like I'm looking at one ZOI and I want the other ZOI from their household to go where they are, and I can't just like select the other ZOI but stay with my camera where I am and click there and tell them to go there, because the camera will take me to the ZOI that I'm clicking. I was finding some workarounds, but I think that they were not correct. Like they were requiring for me to do more clicking and more switching, so I don't think that that's the way. Maybe I'm still too attached to something like The Sims, and so I'm kind of expecting the game to behave in the same way. And if that's the case, okay, and I will eventually be able to have more flexibility, in the commands with InZOI. But for the time being, you can also tell from the live stream that from time to time, I was struggling, baby. I was. So, with all of this considered, my darling, my final review is that I really enjoyed the island getaway. We had a good time with the gameplay. I still think that probably InZOI's main thing is the graphics in terms of both environment but also the create a Zoe part. I bet that even if you're not a create a sim, create a Zoe girly, you will spend some time crafting your Zoe and probably will put way more attention to that stage of the gameplay rather than what happens next. One thing that is still lacking for me, but that has not necessarily anything to do with the DLC, is the fact that the character development and the aspirational part of the gameplay is kind of non-existent. Like, I played all these hours with these Zoes and I didn't have any need to go and follow some sort of want-based system. And so I was basically really free to decide what was happening to them, which on one hand was very helpful, especially because I was exploring, but I was definitely hoping for a little bit more of a push in the storytelling department, you know? And I think that this is something they can tackle, that can definitely improve. But yeah, I still think that depth-wise, there's some work to be done in there. If you have the game, if you got the early access already, definitely give the DLC a try, in my opinion. I mean, it's free, it's there, why not? I am kind of curious to see how it plays out with the family, for example, if there's anything different, and also spending more days in there, or specifically living on the island, which is what the game kind of obliges you to do. You guys let me know in the comment section if you've tried it, if you have any pointers. It was my first time and I didn't really see any guide. I was just going with the flow, see where the game took me, to then have like a perspective on how I was feeling after we played the game. But spill the tea in the comment as usual, my lovely drama friend. And don't forget to leave a like to support the Drama House. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Come on, join me here at the Drama House for more on the past, present, and future of live simulation video games. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I appreciate you and I hope I'll see you in the live chat, baby. So join me for the upcoming live streams every Monday and Thursday. My name is Lady Drama. Thank you again for stopping by. I hope I'll see you very soon.